I'm Sibylle Janert. I'm a psychologist and an autism home consultant, and I would like to give you some idea of what can be achieved in a year of therapeutic autism home consultations when working with me. And I want to tell you a story of a real boy whom I'm going to call Tom. I'm going to tell you a little bit what things were like when I first met Tom. I want to tell you about what we explored together with the parents and what we changed. And then I want to tell you where things are at a year later. So when I first met Tom, he was running around at home, climbing everywhere. So all the doors in the house had become locked, and Mum was mostly busy trying to prevent him from climbing or hurting himself. He was non-verbal, and he didn't really have many things that interested him other than movement and walking around. So together we looked at who really is this child. And I find it very important to let go of ideas of what autism might be and to focus back on the individual child in his individual family, on the individual personalities of the family members and the environment in which they live, and to think together what is going on and what might help. So together we looked at where this kid was developmentally, which wasn't at the level of a 6.5-year-old, where Mum had been trying to teach him. But really he was interested and could be engaged with developmentally much earlier activities, mostly of the picking up things and putting them down variety. And with some imagination, this of course is a huge area that one can develop games in, of picking different objects, big ones and small ones, and putting them in different places, in different containers, up and down from side to side. And for this I use some ideas of the Walden approach. So using these, the parents became much more confident, and the child was confident because he could pick things up and put them down, so he was successful. And together already things calmed down massively, with the parents in some ways lowering their expectations to a developmentally earlier level of functioning, but at the same time increasing their expectations that this was something they could do together. And so things calmed down massively. Also, parents were getting on better because their difficulties in engaging the child had, of course, created a lot of tension between them. We then also looked, of course, at the interaction and the communication skills and capacities of this boy, and both parents changed the way they were talking to him. So instead of trying to go for speech and trying to make him say words, which we together realized wasn't where he was at, they were going much more for non-verbal gestural communication and for verbalizing what this child was saying in his gestures but without words. I work a lot with video, so every session that I go to a home I try and catch about 10 to 15 minutes of video, sometimes taken by the parent, sometimes by myself. And we normally meet roughly once a month at home, so I can see what's going on, I can share with the parent where the difficulties are, where the challenges are, where the successes are. We can try some things out together, and then in between these usually monthly home visits we meet just as adults at my consulting room usually, where we can look at some of these video clips and look at what worked, what didn't work, what might we be able to do. And of course, the other big area we looked at was how could the home help? So this family lived in a very small flat with very little space. The living room was, very chaotic because the mum had just tried to make it safe. So it took us a while to look at what, and actually initially the mother didn't believe that this child could ever sit down. But after quite a lot of searching for the right equipment, the mother found a little table that could be made to fit into this tiny living room. She moved quite a bit of the furniture around, and she got a chair to go with this desk that she bought. And to her great surprise, the boy loved the desk and the chair, and he now spends pretty much most of the time in the living room sitting in this chair. She also bought some shelves, and we looked at where to put them so she could have a combination of a shelf where the child could access materials and a shelf that was for materials that she wanted to keep safe for when she sat down to play with him. So, where are we now? After a year, instead of a chaotic living room, this family have a very nice containing living room that really, the mum said to me, it really feels like a home and a living room now. The boy has his own dedicated space, a small table and actually two chairs, one chair that goes with a desk and another more like armchair that he likes to sit in when he looks at books and more to relax. There's shelves and storage, there's play materials that are suitable for this boy's level, and that both parents are confident and happy and enjoy using to play with the boy. This boy is still nonverbal, although he started to say a few words. He obviously has problems with articulation, but because things at home have calmed down so much, he is now much more able to find the links between the words that he hears, how he sees people saying the words, and linking them with his experiences. The mother feels confident with where her boy is at. She has changed her own communication style to match this boy's earlier developmental functioning, which also, in turn, of course, is helping him to feel more understood, to use his gestural non-verbal communication more, so that words can grow from this. So overall, although this boy still has considerable problems, it is a completely different family situation. I hope this has given you some idea of what working for a year can achieve.